The first thing I noticed when I woke up was the beeping. Not the pain, that came later, crashing through the fog like a tidal wave. But that steady, mechanical rhythm told me I was alive before anything else did. My name is Cecilia, and I shouldn't have survived that crash. The doctors said as much when they thought I was sleeping. Head-on collision, multiple fractures, internal bleeding, the works. But somehow, I did survive. Sometimes I wonder if that was the universe's first cruel joke. "Oh, sweetheart, you're awake!" My mother's voice carried that artificial sweetness she reserved for public appearances. She squeezed my hand, careful to avoid the IV lines. "We've been so worried." I tried to speak, but my throat felt like sandpaper. A nurse appeared with ice chips, blessing her. The insurance adjuster called again, my father said from somewhere near the window. "They're processing the settlement faster than usual, given the circumstances." "Not now, Randy," Mom hissed. I managed to croak out, "How much?" "Don't worry about that right now, dear." Mom patted my hand. "Focus on getting better. The doctors say you'll need extensive rehabilitation." Something in her tone made my skin prickle. I'd worked in finance before the crash. I knew about insurance settlements. This should be straightforward. "I want to know," I insisted. "Rest now," Mom said firmly. "Oh, did I tell you Kaya made it into the Harbor Heights Yacht Club, the youngest member this season? My sister, of course." Even with me half dead in a hospital bed, the conversation had to turn to Kaya. The days blurred together after that. Physical therapy sessions that left me crying, doctors with concerned faces, nurses who became my only honest companions. My parents visited daily, but something felt off. They deflected questions about finances, changed subjects when I mentioned rehabilitation facilities. It was during one of those hazy nights, when pain meds couldn't quite pull me under, that I heard them in my room. They thought I was sleeping. "She's going to find out eventually, Lindsay," Dad whispered. "By then it won't matter." Mom's voice was steel. The club membership was non-refundable. Besides, Kaya needs this for her future. What's Cecilia going to do with that money anyway? She'll be lucky if she ever walks properly again. My heart stopped. The settlement money, my settlement money. It was meant for her care. And what better care than knowing her sister has a secure future? Cecilia always was the practical one. She'll understand. I kept my breathing steady, fighting the urge to scream. With trembling fingers, I reached for my tablet on the bedside table. 3 taps to open the voice recorder app. Thank God for muscle memory. "The full amount?" Dad asked. "Most of it. I left enough in her account to avoid suspicion. Kaya's already making wonderful connections at the club. The Andersons' son has taken quite an interest in her. If the insurance company investigates, they won't. It's all perfectly legal. We have power of attorney while she's incapacitated. I'm protecting this family's future, Randy. One of our daughters still has a chance at a normal life." I recorded every word, tears sliding silently down my face. In that moment, something inside me hardened. They thought I was broken, helpless, disposable. They saw my tragedy as their opportunity. The next morning, I smiled when they visited, played the good, brave daughter. But under my blanket, my fingers were already typing a message to Vincent, my ex from law school. "Remember when you said I was too trusting? Too willing to give people the benefit of the doubt? You were right. I need your help." The response came within minutes. "What happened?" I attached the audio file and added, "They stole my future to buy my sister a yacht club membership. Help me make them pay." As I hit send, Mom breezed in with a fashion magazine for Kaya's latest social photos. "Look who's made the society pages," she trilled. I smiled wider, already imagining her face when everything came crashing down. "How wonderful," I said. "Tell me all about it." Sometimes the best revenge starts with playing the perfect victim, and I had nothing but time to play my part. "Oh my God, Cece, you should see the sunset from the marina." Kaya twirled into my hospital room, her designer sundress floating around her like a cloud. It's absolutely magical. I can't believe I waited this long to join. I forced a smile, watching her drop shopping bags onto the visitor's chair. Sounds amazing. How much was the membership fee again? Don't be boring, she laughed, pulling out a champagne-colored blazer. Look what I got for the summer gala. The Andersons are hosting, and Trevor specifically asked if I was coming. My physical therapist, Sophie, chose that moment to walk in. Ready for our session, Cecilia? Can't you do it later? Kaya pouted. I barely get to see her anymore. Sophie's expression remained professional, but I caught the slight tightening around her eyes. Recovery doesn't wait for social calls. Fine, fine. Kaya gathered her bags. Oh, by the way, Mom said to tell you they're handling all the boring insurance stuff, so don't stress about it. She air-kissed my cheek. Love you. The moment she left, I grabbed my phone. Sophie, can you help me sit up? I need to check something. She assisted me while I logged into my bank account. The numbers on the screen made my vision blur. Where there should have been 6 figures, I saw barely enough to cover a month's rent. Are you okay? Sophie asked, noticing my hands shake. They took it, I whispered. Almost all of it. The settlement money meant for my rehabilitation. They spent it on her. Sophie's face darkened. That's not legal. They have power of attorney. I laughed bitterly. Mom made sure of that while I was still unconscious. My phone buzzed. A message from Vincent. Met with a friend. He's interested in your situation. Can you talk? Sophie, I said carefully, if I asked you to help me with something not exactly part of your job description. She sat on the edge of my bed. Does it involve exposing what they did? I nodded. Good. I've watched enough rich parents play favorites to last a lifetime. What do you need? I dialed Vincent's number, putting it on speaker. He answered immediately. Cecilia, is someone with you? My physical therapist, Sophie. She's trustworthy. Okay, listen. I talked to Ulysses. He's a journalist friend who specializes in financial fraud stories. He's very interested, but we need more evidence. I have the recording, I said. We need paper trails, emails, anything showing the money transfer patterns, and witnesses would help. Sophie leaned forward. I can document her rehabilitation needs and costs. Show what the settlement should have covered. Perfect, Vincent said. But be careful. These cases get ugly fast. As if on cue, my mother swept in. Sophie quickly ended the call. Darling, good news. Mom's smile was radiant. Kaya's being featured in the Harbor Heights newsletter. They're doing a piece on young members revitalizing the club. That's wonderful, I said, matching her tone. Must be expensive maintaining that lifestyle. Her smile flickered. We manage. Now about your discharge planning. Actually, Sophie interrupted, Cecilia needs another round of pain medication before we discuss that. Hospital policy. Mom's nose wrinkled at being dismissed by staff, but she left with a promise to return later. Quick thinking, I told Sophie. I've got your back. She helped me lie down. But Cecilia, are you sure you want to do this? It could tear your family apart. I thought about Kaya's casual display of wealth bought with my future, about Mom's dismissal of my recovery needs, about Dad's weak protests that changed nothing. They tore it apart the moment they decided I was disposable. That night, I sent Vincent everything I could access: bank statements, power of attorney documents, text messages. Then I composed a new email to Ulysses. Mr. Lee, I understand you're interested in stories about financial abuse within wealthy families. I have evidence of parents defrauding their disabled daughter to maintain their younger daughter's social status. Would you like to hear more? His response came within minutes. Call me tomorrow at 9 a.m. If you're serious, I might know someone who can help make this very public. I stared at the ceiling, listening to the familiar beeping of monitors. Soon, they'd learn that being bedridden didn't make me powerless. It just gave me time to plan. My phone lit up with a text from Kaya. The Andersons invited me to their summer house. Mom says we need to go shopping for new outfits. I smiled in the darkness. Enjoy it while it lasts, little sister. The higher you climb, the harder you'll fall. Remember when you won that national science fair? Sophie asked, helping me with my exercises. Your mom showed me the photo yesterday. You looked so proud. Ah, yes, my shining moment. I grimaced, both from the physical strain and the memory. Want to know what happened after that photo was taken? Tell me. Mom spent the entire celebration dinner talking about how Kaya had been approached by a modeling agency. My scholarship announcement became a footnote. Sophie helped me sit up. That must have hurt. You get used to it. I was the smart one, meant to reflect well on the family name. Kaya was the pretty one, meant to advance it. My phone buzzed. Ulysses was calling. I put it on speaker. Cecilia, I've been reviewing what you sent. This goes deeper than just the settlement money. What do you mean? Your parents have a pattern. That science fair scholarship you won, it was deposited into a joint account with your sister's name on it. Same with your graduation money, inheritance from your grandmother. My hands clenched. How far back? At least 6 years. They've been funneling your achievements into Kaya's social climbing since she was 13. Sophie swore under her breath. There's more, Ulysses continued. Your father's company has some interesting tax write-offs related to dependent care that don't match your actual medical expenses. A knock at the door made us freeze. Vincent walked in, carrying a laptop. Sorry I'm late, he said, closing the door. Had to dodge your mother in the parking lot. She's coming up with more magazines for you. Ulysses, I'll call you back, I said quickly. Vincent set up his laptop. We need to talk strategy. They're getting suspicious. Your father asked about my visit yesterday. Then we move faster. I shifted in bed, ignoring the pain. Sophie's been helping me play up memory issues during their visits. They think the crash affected my cognitive function. Smart, Vincent nodded. They won't expect. The door opened. Mom breezed in, Kaya trailing behind her. Look who stopped by, Mom announced. Kaya just had the most wonderful lunch with the club directors. They're considering me for the youth leadership committee, Kaya gushed. Can you believe it? Vincent caught my eye. I gave him a slight nod. That's impressive, he said smoothly. Must be expensive, though, all those events and outfits. Oh, we manage, Mom said quickly. Vincent, dear, shouldn't you be getting back to your studies? Actually, I cut in, Vincent's helping me review some paperwork, medical stuff. My memory's still fuzzy about the accident. Mom's smile tightened. No need to strain yourself with that. We're handling everything. Like you handled my science fair scholarship? The room went silent. Kaya looked confused. What scholarship? Nothing, dear, Mom said sharply. Cecilia's confused again. The doctors mentioned this might happen. Sophie stepped forward. Actually, her memory's been quite clear about certain things. Mom's eyes narrowed at Sophie. I think we need to discuss changing physical therapists. Someone more professional. That won't be necessary, I said, reaching for my phone. I recorded something interesting last night. Would you like to hear it? Mom froze. What are you talking about? I pressed play. Her voice filled the room. She won't live the same way again anyway. Might as well use it for someone who matters. Kaya's face went white. Mom? What does she mean? It's not what you think, Mom started. Get out. My voice was ice. All of you, except Sophie. They left, Mom practically dragging Kaya, Vincent giving me a supportive nod. Once the door closed, I let out a shaky breath. You okay? Sophie asked. No. I wiped my eyes. But I will be. Call Ulysses back. Tell him to start writing. That night, alone in my hospital room, I received a text from Kaya. Is it true? Did they take your money for my club membership? I stared at the message for a long time before replying. Ask them about the science fair scholarship. Ask about grandma's inheritance. Ask about every achievement of mine that mysteriously turned into your new opportunities. She didn't respond. Sophie came in for a late check. Your mom called the hospital administration, tried to have me removed from your care. What happened? They reviewed the recording you made of her threatening me. She's been banned from interfering with medical staff. I smiled. First domino falls. You're playing a dangerous game, Sophie warned. No, I corrected her. I'm just done playing their game. I picked up my phone to text Ulysses. Time to show them how it feels to lose everything they thought they were entitled to. The monitor kept its steady rhythm, marking time until the next move. In the darkness, I finally felt powerful again. Hold the camera higher, Sophie whispered, steadying me as I positioned the tiny device on my bookshelf. We need a clear view of the entire room. I was finally home. Well, in my childhood bedroom turned recovery space. The familiar walls felt like a prison, but they'd serve their purpose. Are you sure about this? Sophie adjusted my pillows. Hidden cameras are a big step. They only talk freely when they think I'm drugged or sleeping. I checked the feed on my tablet. Perfect angle. Vincent arrived that afternoon with more equipment and news. Ulysses is ready. He's got enough for the first article, but he's holding off until we have more concrete evidence. A commotion downstairs interrupted us. Kaya's voice carried up the stairs, accompanied by multiple excited voices. Pre-party gathering, I explained. She's hosting some yacht club event tonight. Vincent raised an eyebrow. Convenient timing. We watched on my tablet as young socialites filled our living room. Kaya stood in the center, resplendent in a designer dress that probably cost more than my monthly physical therapy. Everyone, please follow my social media. Kaya's voice came clearly through our feed. I'm going live from the yacht party later. Mom appeared, all perfect makeup and practiced charm. Kaya, darling, perhaps tone down the social media tonight with your sister's condition. Oh, please, Kaya rolled her eyes. It's not like Cecilia can see it from up there anyway. Besides, this is important for my influencer career. Sophie squeezed my hand as we listened. The party moved to the yacht club, but we kept monitoring Kaya's live stream. She was in her element, surrounded by wealth and adoration. Speaking of family, one guest asked on camera, how's your sister doing? Kaya's face fell in perfectly practiced concern. It's been so hard, but you know everything happens for a reason. Like, her accident helped our family make some important changes. I feel so bad for her, but at least it helped someone. Vincent swore under his breath. Is she seriously... Record everything, I said quietly. The comments section exploded. What does she mean it helped someone? Did she just thank her sister's accident? Rich people are wild. Ulysses called within minutes. Are you watching this? Every second. I'm publishing tomorrow. This is too perfect. Her own words, completely unprompted. The article's titled, The Price of Privilege, How One Family Sacrificed Their Disabled Daughter. Use the recordings, I said, all of them. The story broke at midnight. By morning it was trending. Mom burst into my room, face livid. What have you done? Me? I blinked innocently. I've been right here, remember? Barely cognitive, according to you. These lies, these accusations, are they lies? I held up my phone. Should we ask the insurance investigator? He's been very interested in Dad's creative accounting. The color drained from her face. You ungrateful... Mom! Kaya appeared in the doorway, mascara streaked down her face. The Andersons just uninvited me from their summer house. My followers are calling me trust fund vulture. How could you let this happen? Let this happen? I laughed. She didn't let it happen, Kaya. She made it happen. Every stolen dollar, every diverted opportunity. I did what was best for this family. Mom snapped. You did what was best for your image, I corrected. And now everyone sees it. My phone buzzed. Ulysses again. Check your email. Insurance investigator wants to meet. Officially. Mom's phone chimed too. Her face went ashen as she read. The club board, she whispered. They're reviewing our membership. Kaya crumpled against the wall. This can't be happening. Karma's funny that way, I said. By the way, those security cameras Dad installed last month, they record audio too. Every conversation, every admission, every plan you made while standing over my hospital bed. You were supposed to be sleeping, Mom said weakly. I was supposed to be a lot of things. Your daughter, for one. Sophie appeared with my medication. Time for your rest, Cecilia. I'll have to ask everyone to leave. They shuffled out, broken and bewildered. In the hallway, I heard Kaya sob, What are we going to do? We'll fix this, Mom said desperately. We always fix things. I turned to Vincent, who'd watched silently from the corner. Not this time, I said. Some things can't be fixed with stolen money. He nodded grimly. Ready for phase 2? I looked at my tablet, where Kaya's yacht party video was still trending, now with a very different kind of attention. They wanted a social media presence, I said. Let's give them one they'll never forget. Your parents listed your medical expenses as business deductions, Finn said, spreading documents across my bedside table. They claimed your care as a corporate liability while simultaneously using your settlement for personal expenses. The insurance investigator had arrived early, his weathered face showing no emotion as he laid out their fraud. That's tax evasion, Vincent said from his corner chair. Among other things. Finn looked at me directly. You weren't supposed to see this money vanish, were you? They thought I was too damaged to notice, I replied. A commotion erupted downstairs. Kaya's voice carried up, shrill and panicked. Mom, the country club just called. They're suspending our membership pending investigation. Finn raised an eyebrow. Sounds like the dominoes are falling. Sophie entered with my afternoon medications, her face grim. Your father's company called. They've put him on administrative leave. The board received an anonymous tip about financial irregularities, Finn explained. Funny timing. I swallowed my pills, watching the chaos unfold through the security feed on my tablet. Mom paced the living room, phone pressed to her ear. This is ridiculous, Margaret, she was saying. We've been members for years. No, you don't understand. The media is twisting everything. Kaya sat on the couch, scrolling through her phone with trembling hands. My followers are dropping by the thousands. All my sponsorships are pulling out. Ms. Henderson, Finn drew my attention back. We'll need your official statement. I'll give you everything, I said. The recordings, the bank statements, the door burst open. Dad stood there, face ashen. The board knows everything about the tax fraud, the misappropriated funds. Lindsay, what did you do? Mom appeared behind him. What did I do? You signed every document? You approved every transfer? Because you said it was for Cecilia's care. It was for this family's future. Finn calmly gathered his documents. I think I have everything I need. Expect formal charges by the end of the week. Charges? Mom's voice cracked. You can't be serious. Fraud, tax evasion, misappropriation of insurance funds. Finn listed. Would you like me to continue? Get out, Mom screamed. All of you. Actually, Sophie interjected, as Cecilia's medical caregiver, I have to ask you to leave. This stress isn't good for her recovery. Once they left, I let out a shaky breath. Vincent squeezed my hand. You okay? No. I watched the tablet as my family imploded downstairs. But I will be. My phone buzzed with a news alert. Prominent family under investigation. Daughter's accident settlement fraudulently used for luxury lifestyle. The comments were brutal. Rich people eating their own. Imagine stealing from your disabled daughter. Country club karma. Another buzz. A text from Ulysses. Stories exploding. Every major outlet is picking it up. Your parents' friends are all distancing themselves. I switched back to the security feed. Kaya was crying on the couch while Mom made frantic phone calls. Dad just stood by the window, staring at nothing. The Andersons blocked me, Kaya wailed. Everyone's blocking me. Shut up about your social media, Mom snapped. We're facing serious charges. You promised nothing would happen. You said the money was legally ours. Be quiet, both of you, Dad said quietly. They're probably recording everything. Smart man. Too late. But smart. Sophie checked my vitals. Your heart rate's elevated. Need a break? No. I watched the screen intently. I need to see this. My phone rang, an unknown number. I answered on speaker. Ms. Henderson? This is Amanda from Harbor Heights Yacht Club. We're conducting an internal review and need to verify some financial transactions. Of course, I said smoothly. I have all the records right here. Shall I send them to the board? Mom appeared in my doorway just in time to hear my response. Her face crumpled. Please, she whispered, don't. I looked at her, really looked at her. The perfect makeup couldn't hide her fear now. You know what the worst part is? I said quietly. I would have given Kaya anything she needed. All you had to do was ask. I was protecting her future. No, you were protecting your image, and now you don't even have that. Vincent stood. I think the DA would be very interested in these new recordings. Mom fled down the hallway. I could hear her heels clicking frantically on the stairs. Send everything, I told Vincent. Every last detail. Sometimes karma needs a little help, and I had nothing but time to help it along. The explosion came at midnight. I was reviewing evidence with Vincent when Mom burst through my door, waving her phone like a weapon. You little snake, she screamed. Recording your own family? Spying on us? Like you spied on my bank accounts? I kept my voice steady. I found your cameras, your little devices, all of it. She threw a handful of broken electronics onto my bed. You think you're so clever? Vincent stood protectively between us. Mrs. Henderson, I suggest you leave. Or what? She laughed hysterically. You'll record me some more? I'll sue you all for defamation. With what money? I asked quietly. The yacht club's frozen your accounts pending investigation. Dad's company has suspended his salary. Even Kaya's sponsorship money is being audited. I'll destroy you, she hissed. I'll tell everyone you're mentally unstable from the accident, that you imagined everything. Go ahead. I reached for my phone. Ulysses would love another story. Mother gaslights disabled daughter. Has a nice ring to it. Dad appeared in the doorway, looking defeated. Lindsay, stop. It's over. It's not over until I say it's over. Actually, Vincent pulled out his phone. It was over the moment Cecilia sent us the complete files. Any threats now only strengthen our case. A sob from the hallway made us all turn. Kaya stood there, mascara streaking down her face. Is it true? She whispered. The science fair money, Grandma's inheritance, everything? Kaya, darling, Mom started. Don't! Kaya stepped away from her. I saw the documents online. Everyone's sharing them. You took Cecilia's future and gave it to me. We gave you opportunities. I didn't want them. Not like this. Kaya turned to me. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I thought they had your permission. I thought you were helping me. I'm sorry? The question in her voice broke something in me. She'd been a pawn too, in her own way. Heavy footsteps on the stairs interrupted us. 2 police officers appeared, followed by Finn. We have a warrant, one officer announced, holding up a document. Mum's face went chalk white. A warrant? For what? Financial fraud, tax evasion, misappropriation of medical funds. Finn listed off. Would you like me to continue? You can't prove anything. Mom grabbed for my tablet, but Vincent was faster. Actually, he said, we can prove everything. Every conversation, every transfer, every lie. The officers moved forward. Mrs. Henderson, you need to come with us. This is ridiculous. I am a respected member of this community. Was, I corrected. You were respected. Now you're just another fraud case. Dad put his hands up as the officers approached him too. We'll cooperate. Lindsay, please. Just stop fighting. As they led my parents away, Kaya collapsed against my doorframe. What happens now? She whispered. Now? I looked at the broken cameras on my bed. Now you learn to live without their money, without their schemes, without their lies. I never meant... I know. And surprisingly, I did know. But you never asked either. Vincent checked his phone. Ulysses says the story's hitting national news tomorrow. You should prepare yourself. Kaya pulled out her own phone, then threw it onto my bed in disgust. Everyone's calling me fraud princess. All my friends. They're all gone. They weren't friends, I said softly. They were investments. Mom taught us both that, didn't she? Sophie appeared with my evening medications. You need rest. It's been a long night. As everyone filed out, Kaya lingered. Can I stay? Just for a bit? I studied my sister. Really looked at her for the first time in years. Without the designer clothes and perfect makeup, she looked young, lost. Pull up a chair, I said finally. We have a lot to talk about. We sat in silence for a while, listening to police radios fade into the night. My phone buzzed with a message from Ulysses. Story's ready? Sure you want me to run it? I looked at Kaya, who was staring at her hands. Did you ever wonder, she asked quietly, if they loved either of us, really loved us? I think, I replied, typing my response to Ulysses, they loved what we could do for them. And that's why this has to happen. Send, I typed. Let it burn. Sometimes karma comes with collateral damage. But maybe, just maybe, something real could rise from the ashes of all these pretty lies. The inheritance of neglect blazed across every major news outlet. Mom's arrest photo became a social media sensation. Dad's resignation letter was leaked online. Our family name, once a symbol of status, became synonymous with fraud. They're offering a plea deal, Vincent told me during his daily visit. Your mother's not taking it. Of course not. I was doing my walking exercises with Sophie, each step stronger than the last. That would require admitting she was wrong. My phone buzzed constantly with interview requests. Ulysses fielded most of them, protecting my privacy while the story exploded. Good Morning America wants an exclusive, he called to tell me. They're very interested in the anonymous whistleblower angle. Keep me anonymous, I insisted. The evidence speaks for itself. The house felt empty now. Dad was staying with relatives. Mom's bail conditions prevented her from returning home. Kaya had moved into a small apartment, her social media empire in ruins. Sophie helped me into the living room, once Mom's showcase for entertaining. Now it felt hollow, like a movie set after the actors had gone home. Look at this, Sophie said, picking up a fallen photo. It showed Mom hosting a charity gala, Kaya at her side. All that performative generosity, while stealing from their own, I finished. The doorbell rang. It was Finn with more documents. The insurance company's launching a full audit, he explained, spreading papers across the coffee table. They're finding similar patterns in other cases. Your parents weren't the only ones exploiting the system. How many? Dozens. Rich families using medical settlements as personal slush funds. You blew the lid off something bigger than your case. My phone lit up with a text from Kaya. Got a job interview tomorrow, a real one. Wish me luck? Progress comes in small steps, just like recovery. That evening, Vincent brought takeout and news. Your mother's trying to spin this, claiming she was protecting the family's interests. How's that working out? about as well as Kaya's yacht fraud Barbie memes. I scrolled through my phone, reading comments on Ulysses's latest article. Rich people really think they're above everything. Justice for the whistleblower. Finally, someone exposed these frauds. Sophie sat beside me. You got what you wanted. Justice, exposure, consequences. Why don't you seem happier? I stared at the empty house, the spaces where family photos used to hang. I wanted justice, not this emptiness. Having second thoughts. No, just realizing revenge doesn't fill the holes they left. The doorbell rang again. This time it was Kaya, looking different in simple jeans and a plain sweater. I found this in my apartment, she said, holding out a folder. Dad's old financial records. There's more. So much more. Vincent took the folder, whistling as he flipped through it. This goes back decades. Family trusts, inheritance schemes. I needed you to see it, Kaya said to me. To know I'm choosing a side, the right side. Later that night, exploring the now quiet house, I found a note in Dad's study. His handwriting was shaky. Cecilia, I tried to stop it years ago. Your mother's schemes, her obsession with status. I was too weak, too afraid of losing the life we'd built. I failed you both as a father. The truth is your inheritance. Use it better than we did. Dad, I showed the note to Sophie during my evening therapy. What are you thinking? She asked. I'm thinking about karma, about how it strips everything bare until you see what's real. My phone buzzed. Ulysses again. They want to name you in the follow-up piece. Call it a triumph of justice. Your call. I thought about Mom in her designer suits, now wearing orange, about Dad's broken confession, about Kaya learning to live without artifice. No, I replied. Let them wonder. Some stories work better in the shadows. Sophie helped me stand, my legs stronger each day. Ready to try the stairs? I looked up at the challenge ahead. One step at a time. Through the window, I could see reporters still camped outside, hungry for more details about the family that imploded. They didn't understand that the real story wasn't in the headlines or arrest photos. It was in the quiet moments. Kaya's first job interview, Dad's painful honesty, my growing strength, the slow dismantling of everything false and shiny in our lives. You know, Sophie said as I gripped the banister, sometimes the biggest victory is just standing up again. I took my first step up the stairs, feeling the burn in my healing muscles. Behind me, the empty house held all our broken pieces. Ahead, each step promised something new, not healing exactly, but maybe something more honest than what we had before. The verdict came down on a sunny morning. I watched from my small apartment as the news broke across every channel. Guilty on all counts, Vincent said, muting the TV. Your mother's facing 8 years. Dad took the plea deal, I noted, 3 years plus restitution. Sophie brought me my cane. I rarely needed it now, but today's therapy had been intense. How do you feel? Before I could answer, someone knocked. It was Ulysses, looking apologetic. I know you said no interviews, but still no, I interrupted. Actually, he smiled, I'm here about something else. Remember those other cases Finn mentioned? Similar fraud patterns? I nodded. We found 23 families doing the same thing. Insurance settlements, medical funds, all diverted to maintain their social status. Your case broke it wide open. My phone buzzed, Kaya calling. Can you come to my work, please? It's important. I found her at the small coffee shop where she'd started as a barista. She was in the middle of training a new employee. That's my sister, she told the trainee proudly. She taught me about honest work. What's the emergency? I asked after the trainee left. Kaya handed me an envelope. I've been saving from every paycheck. It's not much, but it's a start to pay you back. Keep it, I said. Use it for community college. No, Her voice was firm. I need to make this right, even if it takes years. My phone buzzed again, a message from Dad's sister. Your father wanted you to know he's teaching financial literacy classes in prison. Says it's his way of making amends. Vincent called next. The insurance company's implementing new protections because of your case. They're calling it the Henderson Protocol. I laughed at the irony. Mom would have loved having something named after her. Just not this. Speaking of, Sophie said, showing me her phone, the country club's being investigated for helping members hide fraudulent transactions. Karma's got a long reach. The bell above the coffee shop door chimed. A familiar face walked in. Trevor Anderson, Kaya's former yacht club crush. Small coffee, he mumbled, not meeting our eyes. Kaya straightened her apron. That'll be $3.50. And Trevor, my sister's medical fund says thank you for the donation. He fled without his coffee. That felt good, Kaya grinned. Back home, I found a letter waiting. Mom's handwriting from prison. You think you've won, you think you've taught us all a lesson, but you've destroyed this family's legacy. Was your revenge worth it? I showed it to Sophie during my evening exercises. She still doesn't get it, Sophie said. No, I agreed. She never will. Ulysses called again. Last chance for that exclusive interview. People want to know who exposed the fraud. Tell them Karma has her own schedule, I said, and her own ways of balancing the books. A final text came through from Kaya. Found something in my old things. Remember that science fair? I kept your project outline. It was brilliant. I should have said that then. I'm saying it now. I smiled, remembering the girl who once lived for her parents' approval. She was gone, replaced by someone stronger, someone real. Vincent brought dinner and news. The DA's office wants your help consulting on similar cases. Your insight could help other families. Maybe later, I said. Right now, I'm focused on building something new. Like what? I showed him my laptop, a draft of my story. Not for the media, but for others like me. People whose families saw them as investments instead of humans. Sometimes, I typed, Karma likes to take her time, but we made sure she never lost the address. Sophie read over my shoulder. That's not the ending I expected. It's not really an ending, I said. Mom's right about one thing. I destroyed our family's legacy, but maybe that legacy needed destroying. The sun set over my modest apartment, so different from our old house of lies. No designer furniture, no society magazines, no pretense, just truth, hard-won and harder kept. My phone lit up one last time. Another victim of family fraud, reaching out after reading about my case. How did you find the strength? I thought about Mom in prison, Dad teaching others from his mistakes, Kaya learning to live authentically, about Sophie's unwavering support, Vincent's loyal guidance, Ulysses's careful exposure of truth. Strength isn't about standing alone, I wrote back. It's about knowing when to let the walls fall down. Outside, a new day was dawning, and this time, every step forward would be honest, earned, and real.